Hi everyone, this is Laurel from the Dabbling Hook. Hope you guys are doing well. I would say that this is going to be a quick video, but that never works out. So I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but who knows. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much to everyone who subscribed, everyone who participated in my first giveaway. It was pretty awesome. And I have dispatched 2 of the 3 prizes. I know Wanda's is, last I checked, it's in customs right now, so hopefully she should get that soon. Debbie's all set with her pattern. And Terry, I never heard back from Terry TN about that last minute third price that I included. So Terry, if you're out there, you have until this coming Wednesday, which is the 21st. Nope, the 22nd to get back to me. And if I don't hear back from you, my email is down below. So if I don't hear back from you on Wednesday by the end of the day, say around 6 o'clock when I check, I will do a quick redraw and send out that surprise skein of yarn to whoever the winner is. So thank you again for that. I plan on doing another one if I get to 700, only because I was going through some of, I was looking for a hook, and then I ran across, I don't know what I did with it right now, but I have a furls hook. I'm not sure if all of you guys have heard of the furls hook. It's supposed to be very ergonomical and, you know, comfort grip, not the soft, it's all wood. Most of it is wood. They have some other man-made materials that they use, but I'm not a fan. I'm not. I have 2 of the wooden ones, the streamlines that they came out with, that I purchased, and I came across one of them. I know I have another one somewhere, so when I find it, maybe I'll do another giveaway for it. But let me see if I can. Nope, I don't have it here. I must have put it away. But I'll take a picture and put it in to show you what it looks like. I think it's the H hook that I found. I'm pretty sure I have either a 4 or 4.5 somewhere. I just don't know where I put it right now. But basically, I'm not a fan of them. It's just, it doesn't work with my hand. And I have man hands. Yeah. It doesn't do it for me. So I like my tulips, and I like the Clover Amour hooks. So I'll be sticking with those. So once I hit 700, I will do a giveaway for that furls hook if anyone's interested. But I'll let you guys know more about that in a later video. All right. The other thing I had to say was a huge thank you to Kalisha of the Quirky Monday podcast. If you guys don't know who she is, I will have her link below. Kalisha actually just pattern tested for me, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But one of the things that she does is she has a segment of her podcast where she does black fibers, black threads, and she basically highlights the people of color in the yarn, the fiber industry. One of the things that's going around, especially on Instagram, is representation matters. I've noticed that I see a lot of people of color in modeling in a lot of the magazines, inside the magazines, showing off, especially the shawls, a lot. But there are never any people of color who are designers or yarn dyers or sellers, or, you know, other than the models in the magazine. So Pom Pom magazine actually last month came out their magazine had this gorgeous African American woman. No, is she British? I'll make sure of that. But this person of color, gorgeous woman on the cover, and you couldn't miss it. Because one, the sweater she was wearing is very beautiful, but it was just so nice to see somebody reflective of who I am and who a lot of us are on the cover of a magazine. So going back to what I started, Kalisha does black fiber, black threads, and like I said, she highlights people of color in the industry. I think it's not just to do with yarn, but just people in the craft industry. And the last one she did, surprisingly, she was highlighting black designers, and she mentioned me, and I almost dropped what I was doing, and I'm like, what, me? So made me a little clumped, but it was awesome. So Kalisha, thank you so very much. That was greatly appreciated. It was a very nice surprise. I think because of that, I actually got a couple of people on Instagram following me, which I'd never seen before. And you're also discovering on Instagram a lot of other people of color who are part of this world that we share, this yarny world that we are so obsessively into. So thank you once again for that. Okay, moving on. What am I doing? A lot, and it feels like nothing too. So works in progress. I have a hat I've been knitting for about 2 weeks now. It kind of gets pushed aside. I gotta stop talking behind that. I realize that my voice goes away when I do that. But this is called the Slush beanie, and I forget who it's by, and I will put it in once I figure out who it is and remember. But that's one work in progress. It's gone around with me for a bit, and for some reason I seem to be stuck on it. The other thing I'm working on is this beanie pattern. I mean, it's nothing new, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I'd mentioned it before. This was actually supposed to be for my nephew, but obviously I'm still working on the sizing, because right now his hair is cut, but usually he has a lot of curls, but this is really way too big for him, so I don't know what I was thinking with that. So I have to redo that. And the other thing that I made was this, which I absolutely love, but I can't figure out the decrease to keep it in the pattern, to keep the decrease in pattern. That didn't quite work out. Looks like a little bit of a mess here. But I like the overall beanie, and I used a smaller needle, and I like the feel of it. So I'm planning on writing this up once I figure this out. So that's what I'm working on, and this is knitted, of course. I seem to be in the hat kick, knitting all the hats, but I'm crocheting everything else. What else am I working on? Those two. I am also working on, I have another beanie. Oh, did I thank? I did not thank my testers for testing out my footbridge beanie. Should have started with that, huh? Because that is out. I released that, and thank you again, Kalisha, for mentioning that on your last podcast. I released the pattern. It is 20% off, no, 30% off through this week, I think. I can't remember what I put in, but I'll put it on the screen. But there are 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. I know Kalisha did, I believe she did both the large sizes, because she does have braids and needs a bit of room for that. So thank you to Kalisha and to Wanda for testing those out for me. I really, really appreciate that. The other one that I've finished writing up, it's actually out to 1 tester so far, but it's my Algonquin beanie, and this is just, again, I've named these because it's where I finished them off, or pretty much worked out the kinks while I was on vacation. in Algonquin, Maine, so they're kind of commemorating that. And it was our first time out there, so that makes it even more special. But this one's going to have 4 sizes, and I had all 4, but I can't find the second size. So this is the child size, and I have a small, this is the medium, and then the large, so you can see. So there should be another size right here, which I am working on right now because I can't find what I did with it somewhere in my mess. So if anyone would like to test, I would love to have maybe 2 or 3 other testers test this. So if you knit, it's very easy, it's very simple. I like, in both knit and crochet, I like simple and with a little bit of interest or texture to things. So while I would love to get into doing all the fancy knitted stitches and lace stitches, not lace yarn, but lace stitching, I'm just not there yet. But I do love a simple beanie with a bit of interest. So if anyone would like to help me test, I'd really appreciate that. Okay, that's that. The other thing that I think that's all for my works in progress right now. I am, again, just doing all my fall prep for my craft shows that are starting up next month. Pretty sure it's early next month. I'm starting a little earlier than usually. I do around the middle of September, but I think I had one the beginning of September, which I can't remember now. But the other thing I did was I did a pattern test for Vanessa, or of Design by Vanessa. She's on Instagram. She does have a YouTube channel. I'll put that below as well. She is a prolific pattern writer in both crochet and knit. She is super fast, and she puts out the patterns, I mean, lightning speed, basically. She's really, really good. And whenever she puts out her pattern, she usually does like a giveaway for, I think, 2 or 3 people whenever she puts out the pattern. So check her out. But this is her latest one that she has out there. Excuse me. It's called the Anemone beanie. So she asks for testers, and she assigns you certain sizes to do. And this was my first time pattern testing for somebody for a knit item, which was pretty cool as well. Never thought I'd be at this stage. So mine was the baby size, but it was a stitch I'd never done before. So I looked on YouTube, and funny enough, there aren't that many tutorials on that stitch. And the ones that I saw, I think there were 3 of them. One was in a foreign language, and the others, they're done a little differently than her her instructions. So that was one of my feedbacks to her, was to, if she can do a video tutorial for the stitch the way she does it. So I started it in this yarn, which is the Loops and Thread Zumba, and I wasn't sure of it, and the bulkiness of it was just getting in the way. So what I did was I took the same one and I did it in my favorite yarn, which is going away, which is Big Twist Premium, and I love how it looks in worsted. It is just too adorable. So I did that one, and then I went back and finished the one in the Zumba. So I don't know if you can see the stitch, but it's basically can I put my finger through it? This is the stitch right here, and it's basically some slip stitches and, do I remember? Look at me try to remember. It's slip stitches and yarn overs, slip stitches and yarn overs. So her pattern called for number 6 bulky, and I think she used Hometown USA, so this is it in the Hometown USA, so you can see it a little better in this one. So yeah, that was my first knitting pattern testing. What else am I doing? That's it for active works in progress. finished items. So I have a couple of washcloths that I did for the washcloth along that's hosted by the Cal Central Facebook group page. I can never get that right. And all of these, again, I always have it down below. It's hosted on the Underground Crafters site, so you can get to all the patterns from there. They have that along with a lot of other crochet alongs, current and past ones, that if you ever want to check them out. But this is called the, wow, this one was done like a couple weeks ago, Standing Diamonds. I'll put the name. This is a really navy yarn. It's a cotton bamboo yarn from Webs. And then the other one that was from this past Monday was, it's called a Summer Splash washcloth, and it was done in more summer colors, but I call mine the Frankenstein washcloth because I used up a lot of my odd little balls of cotton yarn, so you can see them all in here. And I still have a little bit left, and there is one more of the washcloths that will come out tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. And then for the most part, I think I'm going to lay off all the cals because it's taken a bit of my time. I've participated in a lot of them, so I think there's one, if I remember, I will put it down below. It's the Tree of Life blanket. There's going to be a cal that's starting September. I believe it might be September 3rd. I'm not sure. But I will put a link to it below. I actually posted it on Angelia's face group. Why do I say face group? Facebook group page. And she might be interested in it as well. It does take up a lot of yarn. It's single crochet, which y'all know is not my thing. But I have always wanted to do that blanket. It's been in my Lion Brand library for a very, very long time. So I figured I might give that a try. We shall see. But yeah, the last washcloth is coming out on Monday. The other thing that I finished is, before that one, I am still making my button cowls. So there's this one, and this is in Fort Lauderdale Coral. This is Hometown USA. And then there's this one. This color is called Mauve, and I don't really think this is mauve, but that's the colorway from, this is the equivalent of Hometown USA, but it is from the AC Moore Heartfelt Heritage line. I do love this color though. It's so deep and rich and fall-like. And as with all of those, I always have yarn left over, so what I use them for is my Kalina headband. Oh, upside down. So there's one, and there's a smaller one, so it's like a mommy and me set. And then I had actually a whole skein left of this one, so I have these two, again upside down. Sorry, my lighting is in and out. It is 3 o'clock on Sunday, and I should be doing actually work that I didn't finish on Friday, but I'd rather record a video. And then for this one, I ran out of the mauve, and I had this, I don't remember what color this is called, but this is Hometown USA. So I just put the two of them together. These were very, very popular at my last year's craft fair. So I'm hoping for a repeat this time around. And I'm trying to have, last year I had, just because I used a lot of scraps, I had a lot of these types in different colors, in different color combos. So this time I'm trying to have as many in multiples of the same color as possible. But I'm trying not to go and buy anymore. I'm really using my stash to do all that. All right. And then the next to last thing that I have so this is the Hedgehog by the Friendly Red Fox. Now I had done a different hedgehog with the yarn I showed last week, or was it last week, 2 weeks ago, which was the mystery box that I got from Lion Brand had the pelt yarn, which is kind of a fun fur yarn in there, and I had no idea what to do with it, but then I used it to do the hedgehog. The hedgehog has since, the hedgehog as well as Gloria the goat that I showed last time, have both found a home with the same person. So this is what I have left. She actually preferred the fun fur hedgehog over this one. She didn't care for that one too much. But I had bought this Peep Squeak yarn in a mill-end bag at Joann's, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was going to make, I think I was going to make a sheep and never got around to it. So I figured I'd just do that, the albino. And it doesn't come with a mouth, but it needed it, I think. So that is that. And then the last thing that I have finished, which, because I'm not usually active on a lot of, I'm a Facebook group pages. I'm not really active. In the past, I didn't really join a lot of them because of that, but I've been part of Angelia's group, and her group is a really bad enabler. Like, she posts things, or other people post things, and I'm like on it before I'm even done reading the posts. But somebody had posted a scrap blanket, which reminded me that I had mine sitting there in a bag that I needed to finish. It started off with my worsted weight yarn that I was pairing with thinner, DK light worsted yarn. So basically I was making a bulky yarn out of it. And I had used up all my scraps, and then I decided to use those oddballs of yarn that I haven't used in a long time, and I'm looking at a few of them still in my stash. So I was just pairing it with this blanket that I started for my nephew over 6 years ago in Karen Simply Soft, and it was just getting too heavy, and I really wasn't feeling it. I was holding one dark and one light strand in the same colorway together, and I never finished it, so I am pilfering that and using it to add to whatever oddball skeins that I had for the blanket. But the blanket's done because the blanket is now about 5 feet by 6.5 feet or so. So I'm going to try to show you as much of it as possible. I will post in a couple of pictures that I tried to get. I couldn't even get it all in the frame of what it looks like. I draped it over, I finished it last night, I draped it over my husband last night, and it completely covers him from his neck to his feet. So it's a good size, but it also is heavy. I think it weighs about 7 pounds. So let's see. Yes, it's heavy. So it started here, and this was Karen 1 pound that I had. I had 2 skeins of that. No, 1 whole skein and 1 partial skein of it. So I just started adding it, and as I ran out, I added a different color, until I ran out of the 1 pound around here. And then I just started pilfering my stash for any of the oddball scraps, oddball skeins of yarn that I haven't been using. I will start another one at some point, but not just yet, because I have to do a blanket for somebody that I'm hoping to get done by Christmas with everything else going on. So this is the blanket. It is absolutely humongous. Absolutely humongous. Can you even hear me? It's huge. It's heavy. It's gonna be so warm. It needs a good bath. But it's got everything in here. It's got homespun. It's got the AC Moore version of homespun. It's got this crinkly yarn that's from AC Moore. It's got Karen Simply Soft, a lot of that in there. I didn't realize I had so much of that. It's got loops and threads. There's Charisma in there somewhere. There's some yarn that I have no clue what they are. There's some Red Heart. Everything. There's even some wool spun, which I'm not too concerned that it might felt or anything because it's a blend. It's even got some sparkles in there. It's just everything that I had went into this. So I basically have very little worsted weight scraps. Maybe like 1 or 2 little balls. I do have some. I'm going through my Knit Picks Brava bulky yarn right now, so I am getting to have some of those in my scraps, but that'll wait till, I think I'll wait till after Christmas to after all the craft fairs are done to start that up, because then I will have all the scraps from the craft fair makes. Ooh, I'm having my Columbo moment again. One more thing. I almost forgot. I ordered bags from Angelia, and how cute are these? Look at this. So I ordered a drawstring bag from her, and she sent me, oh, I can't get them out. She sent me some stitch markers too, so thank you very much, Angelia, for that. But the bags are gorgeous, and now I don't know which one to keep. I may or may not include one of these as a giveaway. Maybe not. Who knows? I have enough whips that can fit in there, so we shall see. And the other bag I thought was just so appropriate because of the hedgehogs that I just finished. Mingma. She used to do videos. She doesn't do them anymore, but she is very active on Instagram. She started selling her project bags as Rain Barrel Designs. Hold on. Her name's on here. Yep. Rain Barrel Designs on Etsy. But the bag, look at that. I just had to. So it's a small pouch, and it's enough for a, if you do socks, or one skein for a hat, it's the perfect size for that. But this is her card right here. Oh. Hopefully that'll focus. Nope. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little blurry. But I will put a link to her shop below. But that is Amy Mingmao of Rain Barrel Designs. But yeah. So, acquisitions. And I always forget these things. Even though when I write notes, I always tend to go out of order, so whoops. I just bought this today because I mentioned that the Friendly Red Fox is doing an amigurumi for every letter of the alphabet, and the last one that came out on Wednesday was an iguana. And it's green, and I didn't really have green worsted weight yarn, but this was on clearance at Michael's. It is the Karen Big Cakes, and I think it's the perfect shades of green for that. It's a little lighter on screen than it really is, but yep. I do have some green, but it's in Brava bulky, and I didn't want to go, ooh, I've got fluff all over me. I didn't want to do a bigger one this time. I wanted to keep it smaller. And the other thing I bought that, I bought fabric, even though I have a couple of bags to sew up, but Joann's finally got the Black Panther fabrics. They advertised it, or the flyer said they had 4 of them, but they're only 2. This one I had gotten online. I think I'd gotten it from an Etsy seller, but Joann now has that one, and they also have this. So I plan on making myself a zippered pouch and a drawstring bag from this. Maybe even a little notions pouch or something this small. I keep all my hooks in here, that I travel with in here. And then the last thing, this is the last thing this time. You guys, I'm sure have all seen the Karen Pantone yarns that they came out with. Yes, I got a little excited because, you know, ooh, new yarn. Now that I have it, it is soft. It's really soft to the touch. I did see the Crochet Crowd, Mikey did a little review on how to pull them apart and everything. And honestly, I didn't realize that they were all separate at first. It's not connected. It's not like the cakes where it just changes to another. These are all separate little skeins that you're going to have to cake yourself. So check out the Crochet Crowd. He gives some pointers on how to do it without, I guess, a ball winder either. But they are small. The total yardage on this is 127 yards. And it says it's a number 5 bulky. To me, it's not a number 5 bulky. I think it's the same weight as the it's a number 4. To me, it's a number 4. What I'd compare it to maybe is the Joann's Big Twist Premium, but I wouldn't call it a number 5. Just a substantial number 4. But yeah, the colors weren't really crying out to me at all, but Joann sent out the 60% off coupon, and I get text, I get email, I get snail mail from them, and you can also go on the website. So I could have gone in there with at least four 60% off coupon and done a little damage. But all the yarn was on sale, or all the good yarn was on sale. What's the point of that? Irks me. So I took myself to Michael's and I bought this one first, just to try it out, and it was 60% off. Come on. And then yesterday, my men's and I, the hubby and the boys and I, they took me out to lunch. So there was a Michael's there, and they all like jumped and said no. But of course, Mom had to go to Michael's because she had a 60% off coupon and it was expiring that same day. So I got another one, but the colors weren't crying out to me, so we'll see. I definitely plan on knitting this one, but then maybe this one, neutral. I'm gonna knit one of them into a hat, and it might be it's either going to be this new one that I'm working on, and this is done in bulky, it's just done on a smaller needle, or I'm going to do one of mine in this. So we'll see, but to me it's nothing that special. I was just watching a review of somebody on YouTube. I don't remember who it was, but one of the things she said, she thinks it's a gimmick. It's going to be a splitty yarn for sure because it's not tightly wound. So that's something to keep in mind. And you have to be able to wind it yourself. So that's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them that you're gonna have to hand wound or put it on. It's so small to have to put it on the Swift and do it. It's a lot of work for 127 yards. Yeah. I won't run out to get it again. We'll see. Maybe if they put it on clearance. So yeah, that's it. So again, thank you, Kalisha. You're awesome. thank you to my testers. And if anyone's interested in testing my Algonquin beanie, I would really appreciate it. My email's below. And stay tuned once I pull out that furls hook. Now, ooh. So, this is the 4.5 millimeter. Because I found that I'm really using this size a lot in the regular hooks, and I like the Clover Amour one. So let's see, how do they do that? Not sure if you can see that. Nope, it's too dark. It's 4.5. So this is what it looks like, the streamline. And I have a 5 millimeter one that I'll be doing the giveaway on. I'm gonna hold on to the 4.5 for now, but I may give that away as well. So stay tuned for that, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for coming along and watching me babble on, because, you know, the boys just give me the eye roll whenever I just mention yarn. So community is good. Representation matters. So thank you, Kalisha. And talk to you guys later. Bye.